Hey guys, it's your friend and sister Lakeisha01. I am officially 7.5 weeks out from my vertical sleeve surgery. I'm down 50 pounds. I'm so excited. And I wanted to do a meal prep video for you guys, but I have 2 kids and a husband. So it'd be selfish of me to only meal prep for me. So I'm going to do 10 freezer meals, crock pot freezer meals. I bought all this stuff from Aldi for about $75. Let's get started. So this is everything I picked up. Just about everything you see here I got from Aldi. I got a few things from Target. You see some Market Pantry stuff there in the background. All of this stuff came out to about $75. And I'm going to be making 5 meals. I'm going to double each meal to make 10. I'm going to be making beef stew. You see I got some cubed beef. I'm going to be making turkey meatballs, the Fit and Active lean ground turkey. I'm going to be making pulled BBQ chicken. I'm going to do that with the chicken breasts. I'm going to also make some teriyaki chicken. I'm going to do that with the boneless, skinless thighs. And I'm going to do just some regular barbecue chicken. I'm also going to do that with the chicken, the chicken breast. Try to ignore my son in the background. He's 3 and he's getting his bubble guppies on. So I got vegetables, I got ginger, I got tomato sauce, sweet peas for the beef stew. I got some freezer Ziploc bags. I got them from Aldi. I'm hoping they work out and they don't burst in my freezer, but we'll see. So I'm gonna start chopping and prepping, and once I've got it a little bit set up, I'll come back. Okay, so I got the vegetables all chopped up. I got some garlic, some ginger. I got onions sliced for the pulled barbecue chicken. I have onions cut for the teriyaki chicken. I have a bag of green peppers, carrots, onions, and I'm going to throw some zucchini in there for the turkey meatballs. It's going to be meatballs and spaghetti sauce and spaghetti noodles. And then I have the carrots and the celery for the beef stew. And I also have some sliced onions and some sliced green peppers. To clarify, I'm actually going to be making chicken fajitas along with the pulled barbecue chicken sandwiches with this chicken. So I'm going to go ahead and get started bagging it up. So I'm going to start with the chicken teriyaki. All I did was clean the boneless, skinless chicken thighs. I just removed some of the fat. That's my 3-year-old screaming and hollering. So I just put 1 package of the boneless, skinless chicken thighs in each bag. Each bag is going to get half a cup of soy. So I just have a whole cup of soy here. I'm going to put half and half. Each bag is going to get 1/4 cup of rice wine vinegar. So I have a half a cup here. I'm just going to put half in each bag. Each bag is going to get half a cup of diced onion. So I've got some onions diced up here. Just gonna go about half and half on each one. Eli, could you stop screaming, baby? Mommy's making a video. Get the other half over here. Okay, and those onions left in that bowl are for the next dish. Each bag is going to get some ginger. So I'm just going to get half of my cut up ginger here and the other half there. Each bag is going to get a little bit of garlic, 2 cloves of garlic roughly. I have a lot of garlic chopped up here. I'm going to be putting it in my beef stew, some other stuff. Okay. Each bag gets a little bit of honey. Honey is great stuff. Technically, this recipe calls for about a half a cup of honey per bag, but I just don't have that much. So I'm just gonna go with what I got. Do maybe 3 tablespoons, 4 tablespoons of honey per bag. We got the ginger, we got the honey, garlic, onions. All this needs now is the sesame seeds, a little bit of pepper, and a 1/4 cup of water. I'm actually gonna leave the water out and put it in when I'm ready to put it in the crock pot. So there's the honey. I'm gonna get a little bit of pepper in each bag, just enough to taste. I feel like I want to put some salt in here, but the recipe doesn't call for it, so I'm just gonna leave it out. See if I can't get some of these sesame seeds in here. This recipe calls for about 3 tablespoons of sesame seeds. It's really just whatever you like. I like them a lot. I think they taste good, and I think they make the meal look amazing. So that is the teriyaki boneless, skinless chicken thighs, all set up. That's 2 meals down, 8 to go. Just gonna give that a little swoosh, seal it up, and get started on the next one. I'm moving on to the beef stew recipe. I got about 1.5 pounds to 2 pounds of stew beef in each bag. I feel like when it comes to brown meats, to red meats, that I like to have the salt and pepper on the meat. So I salted and peppered it, and then I put a little bit of flour in each bag and just swooshed it around so that the gravy will thicken up once this goes in the crock pot. I'm going to add to this half of my leftover garlic to each bag. This recipe calls for a 1/2 cup of red wine. So I just bought some cooking red wine I got from Target, Market Pantry, simple. I got a whole cup here. I'm just gonna throw 1/2 cup in each bag. I have about 1 one softball size onion. I'm gonna put half in each bag. Okay. This recipe calls for sweet peas. I love sweet peas in my beef stew. So I'm going to throw those in. Now, some people like to add them at the end, but I prefer to put them in at the beginning. I don't really like the whole crunchy sweet pea thing. So I put them in at the beginning and let them get nice and soft with everything else. I need to add carrots and celery to each bag. So I'm just going to put about half of what I have here into each bag. I cut these up nice and big so that they would have time to cook in my crock pot and cook like roughly the same roughly the same time as everything else. Just get that in there. And then this recipe calls for 4 ounces of tomato paste. I got a 6-ounce can. I didn't see the point in buying 2 cans, so I'm just gonna put 3 ounces of tomato paste per bag. As you can tell, I love carrots. I got a whole bag of baby carrots, and I chopped these to about 1/3, and I'm gonna put almost all of it in this beef stew. Love carrots. Saved a little bit for my tomato sauce to go with my turkey meatballs. I love to hide vegetables in things that you wouldn't expect there to be vegetables in, and that way I get more vegetables into my kids. So I'm just gonna get some of this tomato paste out of here. I believe that's just about everything. Nope. We need a touch of Worcestershire, which I have to find now because I didn't think to take it out. Where did I put my Worcestershire? Do I not have any Worcestershire? I got no Worcestershire. The world is not over. I'll just throw it in when I'm ready to make this. This also calls for 1 bay leaf and some potatoes. I'm going to use red potatoes, but I'm not going to put them in the freezer because I find that when you put potatoes in the freezer, they come out very mushy. So I'm going to save the potatoes, and when I'm ready to make this, I'll chop them up and throw them in just as I'm putting this into the crock pot. So I'm just going to throw in the tomato paste. I'm going to add a little bit more salt and pepper, a bay leaf, and I'm going to seal this up and get ready for the next meal. I'm moving on to the pulled barbecue chicken just because it's so simple. I have about 1.5 pounds of chicken breasts cut into just big chunks in each bag. You could easily leave them whole and then just shred them after they're done, but I found it's easy to just cut them up, and they shred easy when they're smaller. So I'm gonna add just a little bit, just maybe like 1/4 of a teaspoon to about 1/2 teaspoon of salt. This is kind of a sweet recipe, so it doesn't need too much salt. I'm gonna add a little bit of pepper. I add pepper to everything. I just love pepper. I can't explain it. It's so weird. But just a little bit of pepper in each bag. And then each bag gets sliced onions, about 1/2 of a golf ball. I keep saying golf. Of a softball size onion in each bag, sliced pretty big. They're gonna cook down in the crock pot, so it won't be a big deal. These pulled barbecue chicken sandwiches go so great on like crusty bread. Now, I can't eat bread anymore, but my husband and my kids just love these sandwiches. We throw a slice of cheese on it, and they just go to town. So I'm gonna put about 2/3 of a cup of barbecue sauce in each bag and about 1/2 cup of water. And literally, that's the entire recipe. So simple, so delicious. Just gonna get another 2/3. You could go with a whole cup if that's what you have, but 2/3 of a cup will do just fine. So we get that in there. Just have to get a little bit more water, and then I'm gonna seal these up and move on to the chicken fajitas. So for my chicken fajitas, I like to use something called sazon con culantro y achote. You find this in the Latin aisle in most grocery stores. You can definitely find it in Target, Walmart. I never use a whole package for anything. So I had about 1/2 package here, and I split that between both bags. I also cut my chicken up into pretty much fajita-sized pieces. I like to get as much work done in the beginning of the process as possible. That way when I'm cooking, I don't have to take this chicken out super hot from the crock pot and try to cut it up. So I'm gonna add my seasonings. I'm gonna add some salt. That's about a teaspoon, maybe 2 teaspoons of salt. Okay. I never really measure seasonings. I sort of just eyeball them. I'm gonna add some black pepper. Again, I love. Okay. I like to add chili powder. Now, I got this chili powder, Stone Mill chili powder from Aldi for about $1 and some change. Now, I add a lot of chili powder. A lot. Like, maybe almost 1/8 of a cup to 1/4 of a cup of chili powder. And then I add just a little bit of cumin, maybe a teaspoon, half a teaspoon of cumin. Cumin just gives it that little extra oomph that you didn't know you needed, but once you got it, you love it. Should have opened this garlic, but here it is. Gonna add a little bit of garlic powder, maybe about a half a teaspoon. Sorry about that, my camera died. So in here, so far, I have sazon, salt, pepper, garlic, chili powder, cumin. I'm gonna add a little bit of dried basil. I got this from Target. A little bit of dried basil. It's about 2.5 tablespoons. And then I like to add just a little bit of tomato sauce, maybe a quarter cup. Quarter cup of tomato sauce. And then I'm gonna throw in my vegetables. I have green peppers and I have onions sliced. I like to throw red peppers in here. I found them to be a little pricey in the grocery store today. So I think that when I'm ready to make this, I'll pick up some red peppers and just throw them in at the last minute. But this is about it. So we just get these vegetables in here. I'm gonna swoosh it around, seal it up, and move on to the last recipe is the turkey meatballs. And those are so yummy. So let me get this finished up and we'll move on to the turkey meatballs. So here's the last 2 meals of the 10. This one is the ground turkey meatball. I guess you could call it a marinara meat sauce. It's a turkey and, spaghetti and meatball sauce. Here we go. So I took my 2 packs of ground turkey and I mixed them up in a bowl with 1 egg, about a cup of panko breadcrumbs, salt, pepper, garlic, Parmesan cheese, about a quarter cup of Parmesan cheese, and some dry basil. I rolled them up and I put them on a sheet pan and I baked them for about 20-25 minutes. Some of them got a little brown, but that's just extra delicious. I ended up getting about 52. I took 6 out and threw them in a little zippy because my mom doesn't eat red sauce and it upsets her stomach. So I'm gonna take what's left of these. I have 48. So I'm gonna put 24 in each bag. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24 in each bag. I also have some zucchini cut really small already in the bag. My kids do not like zucchini. I happen to love it. So I figure if I throw it in this meat sauce and chop it up nice and small, it will end up being delicious and they won't notice it. So there's that. I have a little baggie of my leftover vegetables. I have green peppers, carrots chopped small, and onions chopped kind of small. So I'm just gonna put half of this into each bag. Again, I love to hide vegetables in my sauces so my kids get some vitamins and nutrients in them without so much fuss. Okay, I'm gonna grab this and just lift it up a little so I can put 1 full jar of sauce into each bag. Okay, I'm just gonna season this up a little bit and then seal it up and I'll show you what they all look like. This is simple seasoning, just a little bit of salt, maybe about a teaspoon, a little bit of salt. little bit of pepper. If this were ground beef, I would throw some Worcestershire in here because that and beef together just are amazing. I'm going to get a little bit of this dry basil in there because basil and pasta, I mean, come on. And then I'm going to get a little bit of this garlic powder in here. Okay. I'm just going to seal these up and come back and show you what they all look like. So here it is all set. This is the turkey meatballs in pasta sauce with zucchini, carrots, onions, peppers. This is the chicken thighs teriyaki with ginger and garlic and sesame seeds. This is the pulled barbecue chicken with onions. This is the chicken fajitas with green peppers and onions. And these are the beef stew with a ton of vegetables. Now, just a tip about liquids. The beef stew calls for 2.5 cups of beef broth. I put only 1 cup of beef broth in the bag so that everything could get like moved around and mixed up, but I didn't want it to be so juicy in my freezer. So I'll put the other 1.5 cups when I get ready to make this. And I know I should have labeled these bags, but I couldn't find a Sharpie and I had 2 hours of free time. I said I better not waste this 2 hours because I can't find a marker. So there's my beef stew. The chicken fajitas already have a 1/4 cup of water in them. The pulled barbecue chicken already has a 1/4 cup of water. The teriyaki chicken already has water, and the meatball marinara is juicy enough. So that is everything. That is 10 crock pot freezer meals. Cost me roughly $65. I did buy a few things other than the stuff for tonight. The potatoes, I'm going to toss them in the fridge where they're safe, and I will chop them up and throw them in with the beef stew on a night that I'm ready to make them. Let me show you the space that I have in my freezer for everything. Just cleaned it out, threw all the little onion rings, pizza rolls in little Ziploc bags to get all those ridiculous open bags out of the freezer. So I have this one little basket all set up for my freezer meals. That's 10 nights. We may, stop and get pizza or Chinese food once in a blue. So I figured that'll get us at least 2 weeks for $60. Cannot beat that. I have 2 sons and a husband, and my mom and my sister sometimes come around. So these meals will work very well for us. If you have a larger family than I do, then I would definitely suggest doubling some of these recipes, especially the chicken fajita and the chicken teriyaki recipes. Those are kind of small. We're actually going to serve some of these things over rice. The beef stew is going to just be served with the potatoes. The teriyaki is going to be served with rice. And the fajitas have the tortilla shells. The pulled chicken sandwiches are going to go on rolls. And this is going to be served with pasta. So thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed. See you next time.